Welcome to Bridges here at CBRC.tv. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all our viewers around the world.
Hi, good evening, Dr. Evelyn Songko at sa mga viewers ng ating Bridges. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Again. And hello, good evening, good morning, or good afternoon to our viewers on Bridges here on CBRC.tv.
Welcome to Bridges here at CBRC.tv. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all our viewers around the world.
Hi, good evening, Dr. Evelyn Songko at sa mga viewers ng ating Bridges. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Again. And hello, good evening, good morning, or good afternoon to our viewers on Bridges here on CBRC. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bridges here on CBRC.tv. Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to all of our viewers around the world. You might be surprised that I'm alone right now. Due to technical difficulties, we could not have Professor Evelyn Songko at the moment, our main host, but I'm Claude Despabiladeras. I am filling in, but I'm hoping, and as well as everybody is, that Professor Songko could join us in a few moments. But anyhow, this show is brought to you by the UST Faculty of Arts and Letters and Phillips Alumni Association and the UST Alumni Association. You know, tonight, we continue with the theme on environment for the month of January. We started with a discussion on how to improve our environment by going into vertical gardening and converting idle and eyesore areas into beautiful spaces. Last week, we looked at the solid waste we produce and its effect on the environment if not properly managed or disposed. We were convinced of the importance of 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. At kung pwede, dapat talaga 100% zero waste. But since it is so hard to do that, tonight we will discuss what each one of us can do for the environment by knowing how to handle our waste before they are collected for disposal by our local government. Tonight, we are very lucky to have with us the owner of the company who does the collection and disposal of our garbage every day. She will discuss with us the importance of doing segregation at source in our homes and places of work. And it is my honor to introduce her to you all. So, ladies and gentlemen, our guest for tonight is Miss Isabelita Eisa Mercado. She is an AB Economics and BS Commerce major in accounting graduate from the University of Santo Tomas. Among others, she is the chairperson and CEO of the IPM Holdings Incorporated, a publicly listed company that is acknowledged as one of the country's most influential companies in environmental management. So everybody, all of you watching, let us please give a round of applause to our host, our guest for tonight, Miss Eisa.
Hi, Claude.
Hello, Miss Eisa. Welcome to Bridges.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, good day, a very good day to everyone. And thank you for your very, very kind introduction. And thank you also for having me tonight or today as one of your guests or as a guest. And thank you also for the CBRC TV viewers from around the world. And of course, the UST Artlets and the Phillips Alumni Association for sponsoring this episode. Magandang gabi po also, Dr. Evelyn. I think you are already here.
Yes, Dr. Evelyn Songko has joined us right now. Thank you for making it in the nick of time. So, of course, we started January with a talk on environment, and with you as our guest, we will be talking about it more. Right, Ma'am Evelyn? Yes, that's I'll just proceed with the first question, ma'am. We know that you're heavily involved in moves to um, make us segregate or dispose of our waste the proper way. Can you please tell us about your involvement in solid waste management?
Okay. Oh, we have been in the business for more than 30 years already. And we've been engaged in the contracting, consulting business for waste management, sanitation, comprehensive waste disposal services. And so it's by ourselves or in partnership with other private companies, both local and foreign, or the government under a public-private partnership. So the involvement, we have been in many pioneering ventures and initiatives and for the total waste solution. So we have really been here for a long time, and we saw how we are doing in our, waste handling as a population, as a people, and also the local government, how and the government itself, the regulations that has been, been given long time ago for us to really take care of our waste, the commercial, the residential, the health, those hazardous waste, those industrial waste as well. There are a lot of kinds of waste that we should really be, taking care of. But the we generate in general a very, very big volume of waste from the household. Yun yung medyo problem sa ngayon. But we should be talking about, and I am glad that Bridges is, talking about the environment on the first month of the year. So I really salute you for having this topic, which is very, very important, not only here in our own country, but all over the world. Sobra na talaga ang problema. At we have to really be conscious and be aware of the effect. Yung garbage is one of it. But in our own little way, we can really do something about it. Kasi yun yung, we generate that much eh. Tayo yung waste generator eh. Di ba? So, we are involved in this. So, dapat alam natin. And our company has been there for a long time. As you mentioned kanina, we collect the garbage. Yes, that is one. And we also do landfills. We also have introduced some initiatives to come up with how we can best service the localities or the city that we are serving. Thank you for that question.
Well, you're welcome, Ma'am Isa. For us private citizens, the extent of our disposing of our waste, we think ends only when we take it out for the garbage collectors to collect. But as you've mentioned, there's so much more into it, right? There's so much the process, yes. And so, ma'am, having been in this kind of business for 30 years, what have you observed about the way people produce and handle their garbage or our garbage?
Well, actually, first of all, the garbage has really increased tremendously. So we generate a big, big volume, especially that the population has really increased. And so the consumption of people now is different. So talagang we generate more and more and produce a lot of goods, even in our the way yung mga gifts natin, yung mga different items that we use now, there's so much increase in the generation talaga. So, and that is a big, big concern. So, para bang, but unfortunately, the way people handle the waste remains the same as when it was not much of a problem. So, parang hindi nag-improve yon. So, parang for the people, it is just out of sight, out of mind. So para bang sa akin, basta, ilabas ko yung garbage ko and that's it. The government takes care of it. So parang that's the attitude of some people, no? And so let them take care of my garbage. So hindi nila concern. Parang it's no longer their concern. So parang we call that as the end of the pipe attitude. Para bang meaning once the garbage has been collected, yun na yun. It's already up to the government, di ba? So now we know that that is not sustainable at all, di ba? And that is why we learned that we really have to take care of our own garbage. And there is so much we can do to help the government, to help ourselves, to help mitigate the climate change, to help the world in the garbage, to face the garbage problems. Kasi when it goes, if we do not properly handle garbage, babalik sa atin yan eh. Sabi nga, hindi ba, yung kung ano yung basurang itinapon mo, parang babalik sa'yo. So, if we do not take care of our own garbage, it will go back to us in flooding, flooding and health concerns, health problems, and everything. Parang ano yan eh, kung wala kang pakialam, the involvement necessary yun eh. So, it will really be a big problem. So, in short, we should do our part.
Ma'am, you mentioned earlier the increase of the population, and in my conversations with many people about the different aspects of society, like yung traffic problem, lack of jobs, lack of classrooms, and lack of infrastructure for public school students, I mentioned yung burgeoning population ng country, and you also mentioned that is also a factor in our waste disposal. So I agree that that's something that the government and the country should really look into, because it affects so much in terms of how our society is. And ma'am, I also like to ask, has there been an improvement in the way the government manages how waste is being collected?
Yeah, very much. Actually, waste collection is handled by the city. So, devolved na sa city yung responsibility na yun. So, they're the ones getting the contractors, and also, not only that, syempre, they also talk to their constituents or the barangays to have the involvement. But I would say, and I would like to compare it to before, there's a very, very big improvement so far sa ngayon, even if napakarami ng garbage. Talaga namang, kasi the government has passed the Ecological Solid Waste Management Law, or the RA 9003. Diba? So with that, the local government is guided. Diba? So guided ang government doon sa batas na yon. And so there has been innovations also, and many improvements in the collection and transport of the garbage. As you see, dati wala namang mga compactors, may mga compactors na rin ngayon that syempre we wanted to improve our service. So para we can see that syempre innovation is important eh. Nandiyan na tayo eh, lahat eh, improvement na. No? So, but it has to be done. So, even if the volume has grown tremendously, and there are many challenges that have come up, especially the COVID-19. So, nakita nyo, even that time, the collection and the taking the waste has continued. Hindi naman and that is also because the local government is really working on how they can support also the contractor. So we cannot do it alone. So talagang nandiyan din sila to support us, and also our health workers who are the waste workers, I mean, who have been doing their share. They're also like the frontliners kasi importante yung health concerns natin during the pandemic. So,
Yes.
and so despite that, and despite the numerous problems na hinaharap ng mga health garbage collectors natin, they make sure that this vital service is done during this challenging period of our history. And nakita naman natin na talagang maski na naka-lockdown ang mga tao, everybody is amazed that yung mga workers natin that is collecting their garbage or accepting sa landfill yung mga ating mga waste, hindi talaga 24 hours yan.
Yes.
Hindi talaga huminto. And we would like to thank also the local governments for their share. Kasi like, syempre kami din, kung hindi kami nababayaran, hindi rin kami ano. So sila, they did their best also na masuportahan. So, pumapasok din sila. So, that is what I mean. Meaning, they're very busy, concerned about the constituents, di ba? Oo, yung walang trabaho, naka-lockdown lahat. So, you can see the tremendous challenge that they encountered. But, same with us, lumakas yung loob namin because nandiyan dyan ang support ng everyone. Lahat-lahat. So, yun, during this pandemic, talagang hindi kami naghinto. And the government also. And for the, as I mentioned kanina, meron tayong RA 9003 that has been signed into law long time ago. And so, that is a framework that is being followed. And you said kanina yung segregation, kasama doon yan. Yes.
Ma'am, it's good to hear from you that garbage collection has continued despite the pandemic, right? Because we assume that everything else has stopped. So many things, so many businesses stopped. So much in the economy got affected, got paralyzed. Pero to the waste workers, thank you very much and God bless them. I know the Filipinos owe you a lot. We should be grateful to them talaga, di ba, ma'am? Ma'am, Isa, we'd also like to ask, I think because since we started our show in January, we resumed after the Christmas vacation. As mentioned earlier, we've been talking about the environment. We've had wonderful guests, you being one of them now. And over the past weeks, maraming mga people concerned sa environment ang nanonood. Ano yung pwede ninyong mapayo sa kanila regarding the proper way of handling our garbage?
Okay. As I said and mentioned about the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act, and it prescribes what you call an inverted pyramid. And the main focus of that is waste avoidance. So, meaning, we should look for ways. We should look for make effort to avoid producing more garbage sana. Pero that is if we can, di ba? And we should practice the 3R, which you mentioned, tama yun. The reduce, reuse, and recycle. And kasi alam mo, we notice as collectors of garbage, talaga namang it takes effort kasi to do this. So yung iba, madali lang, naghahalo-halo lang. Pero maganda sana if we can really, segregate it at source. Yung meaning sa household pa lang. Kasi yung the treatment of the residual waste could come last. So sa reusing and recycling, we have the materials recovery facilities that can help us divert the waste para mabawasan yung waste that goes to the landfill. And therefore, it can become a resource that we can still use. Remember that what we call a man's trash can be another man's treasure. Diba? So, and just like the plastics that we throw, there are actually many things that can be done and we can use out of that plastics. So, and that is a big volume, that we can convert. So actually, we have a processing facility, and we call it the refuse-derived fuel facility that can segregate and that can segregate yung waste. Pero siyempre initiative namin ito dahil hindi nangyayari ngayong segregation at source. But of course, this machine will work better kung segregated at source also na. And then, isa-segregate pa doon. Kasi yung quality ng ma-generate natin na RDF has a better value or a better quality. Kasi this RDF, we supply to the cement companies. So, yung cement companies, di ba, they use coal, they use fossil fuel. So, with now they are very conscious also of addressing the pollution and what they do, no? So to decrease the fossil fuel that they use, they turn into using part of it, parang co-processing yung RDF that is made out of trash, yung ating um, trash that we generate na pwedeng mag-serve as fuel. Yon. And we can help this effort by practicing also the segregation as mandated by law. Meaning, yung household level ng mga population should separate the recyclables and the compostables. And therefore, the residual waste na lang yung madadala natin sa landfills, no? So, by separating the recyclables and the biodegradables from the non-biodegradables, the waste go a long way in helping the government's efforts to divert the non-residual waste from the landfills. So we can show now a video of that machine if you are ready. Maybe we can have it.
Yes, we're going to have somebody play it for us any moment now.
So we can
Yeah.
share it with you. Okay, that one.
Oh, my Mama Isa, thank you very much for presenting that videos. You gave us a sneak peek into what happens to our trash when it's been collected. Ganun pala yung process involved, no, ma'am?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we run through it and then we process it. So yung final ano niyan goes to the cement companies. So at least may nangyayari pa din what good about the garbage that we can generate yung recyclables that we can put into this machine. So can still
Yeah.
be reused.
Yeah,
Resource.
talagang makakatulong sa inyo talaga pag at source, meaning at home. Kami, yung mga private citizens, sinesegregate talaga namin ng maayos yung aming trash, hindi po ba? Kaya yun yung dapat namin gawin. Opo.
Yes,
So,
if we can only do that, that will be a big help talaga.
so ma'am, you mentioned something, can you give us an example of innovative ways of handling our garbage? Some innovative ways. Yeah. Mm.
Okay. That is one of the initiatives namin, no? Kasi we collect garbage from the streets, from some are commercial, but most are the households, no? So and we bring it to the facility para we can see how much volume can still be said as a resource so that we can process in that facility. So if your question is innovation and what we can do, we still do, no? For me, Claude,
Yes, ma'am.
before I myself do not appreciate. I thought hindi po pwede ang zero waste. Before talaga, para bang akala ko, mas madali kasi yung sige, kolektahin na lang para walang garbage sa kalsada kasi eyesore, di ba? Parang,
Yes.
bale, sige, na lang yan. But, as I got involved more and more into this, I saw the importance of doing the right thing, di ba? And so, I got more aware and got more involved, so I got more engaged. And the first hurdle, I think, as in sa aking sarili, is awareness. Kailangan aware tayo, di ba? Ang mga tao, ano ba talaga yung bakit? Bakit ba ako magaganyan? Ano ba yung nagagawang masama pag hindi? Ano ba yung nagagawang mabuti if I do the segregation, di ba? So, I think awareness. And with that, I think, kaya nga, others are saying that children should also get involved, di ba? So, that is a big and very good indication na hindi lang yung matatanda, kasi lahat din talaga waste generators, di ba? So if we involve the children, ayun, sila na mismo ang magsasabi sa parents na, oh, let us recycle this. So why? Kasi pwedeng turuan ng mga bata. And parang alam mo, there are two things for awareness and na dapat natin gawin at this point. Kasi nakita namin, we've tried doing this, like penalize them. Why? Sometimes yung mga, yung city will tell us, no segregation, no collection. Pero hindi rin nangyayari kasi talagang the streets will end up with so many liters, so many garbage. So that is one, penalize them. So hindi nag-work. So sa ngayon, we thought of incentivizing them. Incentives.
Yes.
Diba? So how do you
Active
give them? Yes. So how do you give them incentives? Diba? So there are a lot of ways. So through the barangays, through, of course, the city also we are working with the city kasi to make this happen. Kasi nandoon included sa kontrata naman niya na you have to disseminate information. So that is one, awareness na. No? Pero hindi mo rin magawa because not everybody reads it. Not everybody wanted to get involved kasi they're very busy doing kailangan kumita sila for their family, especially those low-income people that has to take care of their food on the table first, di ba? So,
Immediate needs, immediate
oh,
personal concerns.
exactly. So hindi naman natin sila masisisi because they have to take care of their family first and their food on the table. So us, siyempre nag-iisip din kami ng way para makatulong sa amin kung sa atin government, no? So we thought of to incentivize niya, give incentives and encourage para ma-encourage yung segregation at source and segregate the recyclables and bring them to us instead of throwing them away, di ba? So,
That's right.
meron kaming ngayon that we will soon be launching very soon. Ito we call it, but what we're doing now is we will be training the kapitans, the barangay captains in barangay kasi sila yung directly involved sa sa every barangay sa lahat sa tao sila yung talagang malapit, no, sila yung talagang nandiyan sila, no, nasa ground sila. So we call this cashback award. May points. Meron tayong environmental points for every purchase goods and services from our participating merchants. Nag-tie up kami dun sa Be Extra na to give incentives. Kailangan yung pang mag-segregate sila and then or bibili dun sa mga participating outlets and then yung immediate benefit from this effort is of course not only do you earn points but you do good for the environment. So yun naman, they can exchange the points to, or let's say, meron kang dalang mga plastics or whatever recyclables you have. You can turn that into goods and we will give it to the barangays. You know, dati meron kaming mobile redemption center that goes in the barangay. Then they can exchange whatever recyclable they have. But now, we will give it to the barangay also. We'll make the barangay very, very involved in this. So that is a way, not only penalize, but incentivize people. So,
Ma'am,
ibang way naman.
that sounds very exciting at talagang mukhang ma-engganyo yung community ma-involve at pati yung with the leadership and involvement of the barangay. And you know, ma'am, we're happy to share with our viewers the many comments that we have been receiving from our from the viewers like Henry Soleta Tenedero, great pertaining to the things that you said. Teresita Mir, watching with the graduate school team. Yeah, she's always very supportive of us. Fernando Pedrosa, good evening, fellow Thomasians. Yeah, Thomasian show. Congrats and God bless. Congratulate from Joey Simon. Yes,
Thank you so
nice
much.
to see from Maria Luisa Agregado. Nice to see our very own Eisa Mercado, Faculty of Arts and Letters.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Marinko.
And then Joy Viray Gatmaitan. Thank you very much for sharing. Because we should never get tired of talking about the environment. Antonio Fernandez says, I think that public education and communication forms a large, if not the main part of the solution. Please share your thoughts on this, ma'am, very briefly. Public
yes.
education.
Public education. So talagang that has to be disseminated, no? Not only in schools, and then communication is very, very important. That's why nga, our effort has already been, siguro, will involve the barangays para closer to the community yung involvement. Kaya yung community, if there are questions, they can just go to the barangay. So, kailangan ito collective effort Hindi naman pwedeng sarilinin lang ni mayor ito or ng mga sanggunian, but of course, and the barangays. So, everybody plays a big part para ma-implement natin ito and be successful. Kasi, this is just a small part of taking care of the environment and for the climate change mitigation. Pero malaking bagay ito. And as people of the country or of the world, we have the obligation to do our part, diba? So, napaka-importante na there should be enough communication, coordination, public education, as we said nga, sige, pati bata, involved na rin natin, para the small and the younger people will understand that it should be their responsibility. Kasi parang, you know, in other countries nga nakakainggit na yung discipline nila is so much. So sana dito, we look forward talaga na tayo as people would have this kind of discipline to ourselves na wag natin basta you know, just don't parang don't mind, basta okay lang yan for as long as natanggal yung garbage sa kalsada, but it's better to really segregate.
Yeah, ma'am, that's right. I hope that our viewers will heed all your advice. All your sharings will be retained in their minds, because we all have to be part of, you know, waste segregation. We don't just leave it to the government. You know, everybody should be involved. Ma'am, you know, you shared so much with us, and we would like to thank you for being part of this show. Maraming salamat and good luck to you. Lalo na po dun sa project na ilo-launch ninyo, ma'am. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, salamat din. Thank you for having me. At least ma-share natin, maski a little way, you know, our move. And I enjoin everyone to help us. Kasi para sa atin lahat ito. Kasi, you know, we are doing this not only for ourselves now, but for our children and for the next generations to come. Diba?
Yes. Thank you very much, Ma'am Eisa Mercado. It was great to have you with us. So that's our show for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We would like to thank the UST Fillets and Artlets Alumni Association for sponsoring the show tonight. Thank you, dear Henry Tenedero, President of the UST Artlets Association, and Ms. Mitos Araneta, President of the Fillets Alumni Association. And thank you, USTAAI, and Ms. Ida Tionco, Chairman of the USTAAI Academics Committee and President of the UST Nursing Association. Also, to all the BOT of the USTAAI, all the volunteers of the association, and all the staff of CBRC, thank you po. And let us all continue learning more and discussing more about how to take care of our Mother Earth. See you again on Sunday at 6 p.m. Our topic next week is the Clean Air Act. And thank you for joining us tonight. Let us put more into action our love for Mother Earth. And here on Bridges, we do not build walls, we build connections of learning, we build connections of people, we build knowledge. So good night, everyone. Thank you.
Welcome to Bridges here at cbrc.tv. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all our viewers around the world.
Hi, good evening, Dr. Evelyn Songko at sa mga viewers ng ating Bridges. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Again. And hello, good evening, good morning, or good afternoon to our viewers on Bridges here on CBRC.